Hello everyone, welcome back. Zealots and Stalkers continuing to be warped in. Observer overhead trying to destroy any of those creep colonies. However, a couple Hydralisks are on the ground, preventing any of those units from really being able to push out. The only real counter to Protoss has against mass Hydralisks is Colossus with weapons upgrade. Still surprised that there is no weapons upgrade yet and no range upgrade on that robotics facility for that Colossus. Continuing to try to push out with those units. Colossus may be able to get off one or perhaps two swipes, but that's not going to really be able to do much. DIMAGA, being like the good Zerg player he is, going to go ahead and start expanding out across the map as that Protoss player is essentially stuck at this point in the game. However, there is no hatchery down over here, and we do in fact have infestors, so these infestors are going to be a problem once again, as those Colossus are just going to be easy pickings. I think infestors need to be changed as a personal note. Still, there is no single unit that works nearly as well as at countering big units as the infestor, as it just instantly takes control of it. Observer taken down as the Overseer was able to grant sight, so Observer right there, and now nothing left of him. Colossus still walking around, and Hasu now finally getting that weapons upgrade, is still using that chrono boost pretty regularly, so looking to do a fairly good job. Hasu now also going to move out with a warp prism. Is he going to start trying to move warp prisms across the map and try to take down other units? That'd be a very, very interesting strategy indeed. We'll see how that's really going to work. I do not see that warp prism. There is in fact an overlord sitting over here, however, and a large number of Zerg units sitting off to that north side. Two changelings creeping along that ground. Going to go ahead and turn into that zealot. Zealot now running into that base. Down goes that one zealot, as you can usually tell when a changeling is in play, as, hey, why is that unit moving? I didn't move that unit. Quick cannon, or taking out that changeling. The changeling did not turn into a zealot yet, because it did not in fact see any Protoss buildings, so that's why it was so easily taken down. Do we? No, still not getting any range upgrades. He is in fact getting the weapons upgrade, but the weapons upgrade is more of a counter to the armor upgrade that's already on those Hydralisks and already on those Roaches and Zerglings. So really, he's really still playing the catch-up game, especially as DIMAGA is getting double evolutionary chambers, and all those Roaches and all those Hydralisks are going to be 2-2 in just a moment. Phase Prism does not have anything in it. Twilight Council upgrading and also getting Templar Archive, so perhaps we're going to see some Psystorm coming in as well. Trying to focus down some of these units. Wow, Stalker taking 2 hits, quickly getting taken down. Oh, nice force fields coming in as well. And now those infestors once again pulling back away, leaving a little bit of that slime trail along the ground. Weapons upgrade has been completed, but still no level 2 weapons upgrade, especially with the level 2 armor already completed. So level 2 armor already completed. We are now at Hive Tech, so Hive Tech means that we may see some Broodlords or may see some Ultralisks. Roaches still moving around that map. The Roaches now have 3 armor, so those Zealots will essentially be dealing no damage to those units. Those Colossus on that high ground perhaps going to try to continue to move out. DIMAGA once again expanding to the 1 o'clock position as well as the 9 o'clock expansion location. So there is going to be purple creep all around this map very, very soon. Colossus doing a little bit of a chase back on all of those Hydralisks, as those Hydralisks are perhaps trying to test the front door or test the side door. Hasu, however, sitting with a couple of those High Templars and turtling like a Terran player for no real reason. Psystorm now being upgraded. Perhaps we'll also get the Amulet upgrade in order to give 25 additional energy to High Templars as soon as they're warped in, allowing them to cast a Psystorm the minute they are done being warped in, which is very, very powerful. We do in fact have Nexus down over here, and now we have cannons on this high ground. So very nicely done. Hasu getting a single observer or a single warp prism, and now getting some photon cannons into this position. And perhaps they will try to taking down some of these Roaches, and even fighting on this high ground it will be much more difficult. Hydralisk taking a couple hits as well from that little photon ball, and this is I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on the main base. Main mineral patches here aren't even really being mined out. 8 mineral patches here left. Should probably try to transfer some of those drones from the main base to that expansion, as there's what, essentially three mineral patches still not being mined out, but that's most likely because of these photon cannons. Yeah, silly me. So yeah, photon cannons preventing any of those really from coming into play. DIMAGA is in fact getting the tier 2 greater spire and also warping in a stalker. Very nicely done. So that stalker is in position. Photon cannons coming in as well. So that stalker able to just sit there and blink. Should be able to blink back up to that high ground. Is he getting blink? No, not getting blink. And once again, engagement in the center of the map. Colossus continuing the fight, and Psystorm being cast, fungal growth cast on those Colossus. Colossus unable to move. Units continue to push in. More Psystorm cast. Roaches walking through that Psystorm like it's nothing. And both units taking very, very heavy losses. DIMAGA down to 4775. Roaches are, in fact, regenerating very, very quickly. Want to be able to take down the rest of these units. I don't know why there was a Psystorm or a force field there. And now Hasu getting a couple of those, trying to get some additional energy for Psystorm. Perhaps we'll try to turn into some Archons, as well as those Archons have a damage bonus to biological. Stalkers now continuing to be warped into play over here, trying to take down this hatchery. A single Spore Crawler, however, or Spine Crawler, able to take down that one building. Still level 1 weapons upgrade, no level 2 yet, so it's 1-0 upgrades against 2-2, what I assume to be 3-3 upgrades already. So well, DIMAGA should just be able to roll over this whole entire army like it's nothing. Broodlords now coming into play as well, so we are now getting 3 Broodlords. Those Broodlords will, in fact, deal a significant amount of damage and essentially stop the Stalkers from being able to catch up to those Broodlords. Broodlords have, what, base 2 armor, deal 20 damage with a range of 9. So those Broodlords will be able to shoot very, very from a long distance against those Colossus. Warp Prism up there on that high edge. Not quite sure why it is in phase mode, but it is in fact in phase mode. Hydralisks now, Stalkers now shooting down those Roaches. Roaches, for some reason, are in hold position. Those Roaches unable to really fight back here, and now going to try to take down that greater spire. Broodlords coming in as well, trying to do a little bit of a stalk. Broodlings quickly coming back in to do a little bit of engagement. One of those Colossus almost getting taken down. Broodlords still wanting to launch those Broodlings towards those units, and those photon cannons being forced to fight back. Nice blink coming in and a Psystorm. So the Broodlords going to get taken down right there. More Psystorm coming in, but those Hydralisks able to walk through that. Really, the duration of Psystorm or the damage of Psystorm needs to be increased. Otherwise, it's not really worth the time and energy for that cast, especially when you consider that Psystorm costs 75 energy and a Neural Parasite costs 50 and a Fungal Growth only costs 75, and it's guaranteed to at least deal 36 damage. While Psystorm if it hits, those units can just move right out of it without any real issue. Broodlords now taking down these photon cannons over here, but those Stalkers continuing to try to blink back, trying to take down some of those Broodlords. One Broodlord gets taken down, and more Stalkers being pushed over here, so a little bit of a nice pressure tactic. The main mineral location, or the expansion location, has been pretty much destroyed, but it looks like those Broodlords will in fact be able to continue to push and destroy these pylons over here on this high ground. Hasu currently operating out of 2 bases, while DIMAGA operating off of 4 bases at this stage in the game, and still DIMAGA having a little bit of difficulty trying to attack this entrenched position due to the fact that there's Void Rays and Colossus. There are in fact some High Templars, but those High Templars aren't really doing as much, as opposed to just creating little lightning storms that Zerg units can really walk through anyways. Roach is continuing to do a little bit of a fight. Yeah, I don't... Any kills on any of these High Templars? Okay, 7 kills on one. 4 kills on another. Yeah, really not nearly as much as I would expect from so many High Templars. DIMAGA now sitting at 199 over 200 food, so it is essentially supply locked, pretty much sitting at a maximum supply, and now getting minerals very quickly. Psystorm getting cast, very nicely done. Roaches once again pulling back away, and then gonna be burrowed underground for about 5 seconds, and then pop back up, fully healed. Colossus still trying to test those waters, trying to deal as much damage as they can, trying to take down some of those units, getting 1 Roach kill. both players sitting on about a fair number of minerals. DIMAGA unable to spend any additional minerals as he's already upgraded his units 3-3 at this stage. Roach is once again trying to engage Void Rays up in the air and going to continue this fight a little bit longer. And Broodling now coming out, quickly getting taken down. And wow, this game is just still going back and forth for both of these players. No one really taking a clear advantage so far. Is that... Oh, nicely done. That was a feedback on that Infestor, trying to deny any of that energy. Are we going to get a feedback on that Overseer? That would be fairly interesting as well. Down goes a single Broodlord. Stay tuned for part 2 or part 3 of this replay between Hasu and DIMAGA here on Lost Temple.